Well, you know, this is a Seton Hall gathering. We welcome you, and let us begin the evening. James?
No one wants to speak about it.
There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and the name was blameless and upright, one who feared God and turned away from evil. There were born to him 7 sons and 3 daughters. He had 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-donkeys, and very many servants. So that this man was the greatest of all people of the East. His sons used to go and hold a feast in the house of each on his day, and they would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. And when the days of the feast had run their course, Job would send and sanctify them. He would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said,
"It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts."
Now, there was a day when the angels of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan was also among them. The Lord said to Satan,
"From where have you come?"
Satan answered the Lord,
From going back and forth on the earth, from walking up and down on it.
"Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil?"
Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not put a hedge about him and his house, and all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But put forth your hand now and touch all that he has, and he'll curse you to your face.
Listen, all that he has is in your power. Only upon himself do not put forth your hand.
So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Now, there was a day when Job's sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in the eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger to Job and said,
"The oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them, and the Sabaeans fell upon them and took them, and slew the servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to tell you."
While he was yet speaking, there came another.
The fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. I alone have escaped to tell you.
While yet speaking, there came another.
The Chaldeans formed 3 companies and made a raid upon the camels and took them and slew the servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to tell you.
While he was yet speaking, there came another.
Your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in your eldest brother's house, and a great wind came across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young people, and they are dead. I alone have escaped to tell you.
Then Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head and fell upon the ground and worshipped. And he said,
"Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord."
Again, there was a day when angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said to Satan,
"From where have you come?"
and Satan answered the Lord,
From going back and forth on the earth, from walking up and down on it.
"Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, who fears God and turns away from evil? He still holds his integrity, although you moved me against him, to destroy him without cause.
Skin for skin. All that a man has he will give for his life, but put forth your hand now. Touch his bone and his flesh, and he'll curse you to your face.
Behold, he is in your power. Only spare his life.
So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord and afflicted Job with loathsome sores from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. And he sat among the ashes.
Then his wife said to him,
"Do you still hold fast your integrity? Curse God and die."
You speak as one of the foolish women would speak. Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil?
In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. Now, when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that had come upon him, they each came from his own place: Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. They made an appointment together to come to console with him and comfort him. And when they saw him, they did not recognize him. And they raised their voices and wept. And they tore their robes and sprinkled dust upon their heads towards heaven. And they sat with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that his suffering was very great. After Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth.
Let that day perish wherein I was born, and the night which said a man-child was conceived, let that day be darkness. May God above not see it, nor light shine upon it. Let gloom and deep darkness claim it. That night, let thick darkness seize it. Yes, let that night be barren. Let no joyful cry be heard the day who are skilled to rouse up Leviathan. Let stars of its dawn be dark. Let it hope for light, but have none, nor see the eyelids of the morning, because it did not shut the doors of my mother's womb, nor hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not die at birth? Come forth from the womb and expire. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary are at rest. There the prisoners are at ease together. They hear not the voice of the taskmaster. The small and the great are there, and the slave is free from his master. Why is light given to him who is in misery, who longed for death, but it comes not, who rejoice exceedingly and are glad when they find the grave? Why is light given to a man whose way is hidden, whom God has hedged in? For the thing that I fear comes upon me, and what I dread befalls me. I am not at ease, nor am I quiet. I have no rest, but trouble comes.
Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered,
If one ventures a word with you, will you be offended? Listen, you have instructed men, and you have strengthened the weak hands. Your words have upheld him who was stumbling, and you have made firm the feeble knees. But now it has come to you, and you are impatient. It touches you when you are dismayed. Is not your fear of God your confidence, and the integrity of your ways your hope? Think now, who that was innocent ever perished? Or where were the upright cut off? As I have seen, those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. By the breath of God they perish, and by the blast of his anger they are consumed. Can mortal man be righteous before God? As for me, I would seek God, and God I would commit my cause. God does great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number. He gives rain upon the earth and sends waters upon the fields. He sets on high those who are lowly, and those who mourn are lifted to safety. He frustrates the devices of the crafty, so that their hands achieve no success. He takes the wise in their own craftiness, and the schemes of the wily are brought to a quick end. He saves the fatherless and the needy from the hand of the mighty. So the poor have hope, and injustice shuts her mouth. Happy is the man who God reproves. Therefore, despise not the chastening of the Almighty. For he wounds, but he binds up. He strikes, but his hands heal. In famine he will redeem you from death, and in war from the power of the sword. You shall know that your tent is safe, and you shall know also that your descendants shall be many, and your offspring as the grass of the earth. This we have searched out, it is true. Listen, and know it for your good.
Then Job answered,
Oh, that my vexation were weighed, and all my calamity laid in the balances. For the arrows of the Almighty are in me. My spirit drinks their poison. The terrors of God are arrayed against me. Oh, that I might have my request, and that God would grant my desire. That it would please God to crush me. That he would let loose his hand and cut me off. This would be my consolation. I would even exult in pain unsparing, for I have not denied the words of the Holy One. What is my strength that I should wait? And what is my end that I should be patient? Is my strength the strength of stones? In truth, I have no help in me, and any resource is driven from me. Teach me, and I will be silent. Make me understand how I have erred. But now, be pleased to look at me, for I will not lie to your face. Turn, I beg. Let no wrong be done. Turn now. My vindication is at stake. Is there any wrong on my tongue? Cannot my taste discern calamity? Has not a man a hard service upon earth, and are not his days like the days of a hireling? Like a slave who longs for a shadow, and like a hireling who longs for his wages, so I am allotted months of emptiness, and nights of misery are apportioned to me. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and come to their end without hope. Remember that my life is a breath. My eye will never again see good. Therefore, I will not restrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. I loathe my life. I would not live forever. Let me alone, for my days are a breath. What is a man that you make so much of him, and that you set your mind upon him, visit him every morning, and test him at every moment? If I sin, what do I do to you? Why have you made me your mark? Why have I become a burden to you? What? Why do you not pardon my transgression and take away my iniquity? For now, I shall lie in the earth. You will seek me, but I shall not be.
Then Bildad the Shuhite answered him,
How long will you say these things? Does God pervert justice? Or does the Almighty pervert the right? If your children have sinned against him, he has delivered them into the power of their transgression. If you will seek God and make supplication to the Almighty, if you are pure and upright, surely then he will rouse himself for you and reward you with rightful habitation. Listen, God will not reject a blameless man, nor take the hand of evildoers. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter, and your lips with shouting. Those who hate you will be clothed with shame, the tent of the wicked will be no more.
Then Job answered,
Truly, I know that it is so. But how can a man be just before God? If one wished to contend with him, one could not answer him once in 1,000 times. He is wise in heart and mighty in strength. Who has hardened himself against him and succeeded? Who will say to him, what are you doing? How can I answer him? Though I am innocent, I cannot answer him. I must appeal for mercy to my accuser. If I summoned him and he answered me, I would not believe that he was listening to my voice, for he crushes me with a tempest and multiplies my wounds without cause. Though I am innocent, my own mouth would condemn me. I am blameless. I regard not myself. I loathe my life. It is all one. Therefore I say, he destroys both the blameless and the wicked. For he is not a man, as I am, though I might answer him, that we should come to trial together. There is no umpire between us who might lay his hand upon both of us. Let him take his rod away from me. Then I would speak without fear of him. For I am not so in myself. I loathe my life. I will give free utterance to my complaint. I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. I will say to God, do not condemn me. Let me know why you contend against me. Does it seem good to you to oppress, to despise the work of your hands and favor the designs of the wicked? Your hands fashioned and made me, and now you turn about and destroy me. Remember that you have made me of clay, and will you turn me to dust again? You have granted me life and mercy, and your care has preserved my spirit. Yet these things you hid in your heart. I know that it was your purpose. If I sin, you mark me, and do not acquit me of my iniquity. If I am wicked, woe to me. If I am righteous, I cannot lift my head, for I am filled with disgrace and look upon my affliction. Let me alone, that I may find a little comfort before I go from where I shall not return, to the land of gloom and deep darkness, land of gloom and chaos, where light is as darkness.
And Zophar the Naamathite answered,
Should a multitude of words go unanswered, and a man full of talk be vindicated? Know then, that God exacts of you less than your guilt deserves. Can you find out the deep things of God? Can you find out the limit of the Almighty? If you set your heart aright, you'll forget your misery. You'll remember it as waters that have passed away. And you will have confidence, because there's hope. But the eyes of the wicked will fail, and the way of escape will be lost to them. And there, hope is to breathe its last.
Then Job answered him,
Who does not know such things as these? Who among all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? It is his hand. His hand is the life of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind. He makes nations great, and he destroys them. He enlarges nations, and he leads them away. My eye has seen all this. What you know, I also know. But I would speak to the Almighty, and I desire to argue my case with God. Listen carefully to my words, and let my declaration be in your ears. I have prepared my case. I know that I shall be vindicated. Man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble. Comes forth like a flower and withers. He flees like a shadow and continues not. If a man die, shall he live again?
Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered,
You are doing away with the fear of God and hindering meditation before God. Your own mouth condemns you, and not I. Have you listened in the counsel of God? And do you limit wisdom to yourself? What do you know that we do not know? What do you understand that is not clear to us? The wicked man writhes in pain all his days because he has stretched forth his hand against God and bids defiance to the Almighty.
Then Job answered,
If I speak, my pain is not assuaged. And if I forbear, how much of it leaves me? Surely now God has worn me out. He has made desolate all my company. My friends scorn me. My eye pours out tears to God that he would maintain the right of a man with God like that of a man with his neighbor. He has made me a byword of the peoples. I am one before whom men spit. But you, come on again, all of you. You shall not find a wise man among you. Days are past, my plans broken off, the desire of my heart.
Then Bildad the Shuhite speaks.
Why are we stupid in your sight? You tear yourself in your anger. Shall the earth be forsaken for you? Yes, the light of the wicked is put out, and the flame of his fire does not shine. The light is dark in his tent, and his lamp above him is put out. His memory perishes from the earth. He has no name in the street. He is thrust from light into darkness, driven out of the world. He has no offspring or descendant among his people, and no survivor where he used to live. Surely such are the dwellings of the ungodly. Such is the place of him who knows not God.
How long will you torment me and break me in pieces with words? If indeed you magnify yourselves against me and make my humiliation an argument against me, know then that God has put me in the wrong and closed his net about me. He has put my brethren far from me, and my acquaintances are wholly estranged from me. I am repulsive to my wife, loathsome to the sons of my own mother. Even young children despise me. All my intimate friends abhor me, and those whom I loved have turned against me. Have pity on me. Have pity on me, oh, you my friends, for the hand of God has touched me. Why do you, like God, pursue me? Why are you not satisfied with my flesh?
Then Zophar the Naamathite answers,
Do you not know this from old? Since man was placed upon the earth, that exulting of the wicked is short, and the joy of the godless but for the moment. The heavens will reveal the wicked man's iniquity, and the earth will rise up against him. The possessions of his house will be carried away, dragged off in the day of God's wrath. This is the wicked man portion from God, the heritage decreed for him by God.
Bear with me, and I will speak. After I have spoken, mock on. As for me, is my complaint against man? Why should I not be impatient? Why do the wicked live, reach old age, and grow mighty in power? Their children are established in their presence, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, and no rod of God is upon them. They sing to the tambourine and the lyre, and rejoice to the sound of the pipe. They say to God, depart from us. We do not desire the knowledge of your ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit do we get if we pray to him? Is not their prosperity in their hand? How often is it that the lamp of the wicked is put out? How then will you comfort me with empty nothings? There is nothing left of your answers but falsehood.
Then Eliphaz answered,
Can a man be profitable to God? Is it any pleasure to the Almighty if you are righteous? Or is it gain to him if you make your ways blameless? Agree with God and be at peace. Thereby good will come to you. Receive instruction from his mouth and lay up his words in your heart. If you return to the Almighty and humble yourself, then you will delight yourself in the Almighty and lift up your face to God.
Oh, that I knew where I might find him. I would lay my case before him and fill my mouth with arguments. I would learn what he would answer me and understand what he would say to me. There, an upright man could reason with him, and I should be acquitted forever by my judge. Does he not see my ways and number my steps? If I have walked with falsehood, and my foot has hastened to deceit, if my heart has been enticed to a woman, and I have lain in wait by my neighbor's door, if I have rejected the calls of my manservant or my maidservant when they brought a complaint against me, if I have withheld anything that the poor desired, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel alone, and the fatherless has not eaten of it, if I have raised my hand against the fatherless, then let my shoulder blade fall from my shoulder. Let my arm be broken from its socket. If I have rejoiced in the ruin of him that hated or exalted when evil overtook him, if I have concealed my transgressions from men by hiding my iniquity in my bosom because I stood in great fear of the multitude, oh, that I had one to hear me. Oh, that I had the indictment written by my adversary.
So these three men ceased to answer Job because he was righteous in his own eyes. Then Elihu the Buzite became angry. He was angry at Job because he justified himself rather than God. He was angry at Job's three friends because they had declared Job to be in the wrong. When Elihu the Buzite saw that there was no answer in the mouths of these three men, he gave his own answer.
Hear my words, you wise man. Job has said, I am innocent, and God has taken away my right. In spite of my right, I am counted a liar. My wound is incurable, though I am without transgression. What man is like Job, who drinks up scoffing like water, who goes in the company with evildoers and walks with wicked men? For he has said, it profits a man nothing that he should take delight in God. Therefore hear me, you men of understanding. Far be it from God that he should do wickedness, and from the Almighty that he should do wrong. For according to the work of a man he will repay him, and according to his ways he will make it befall him. God will not do wickedly, and the Almighty will not pervert justice. Who gave him charge over the earth, and who laid on him the whole world? Men of understanding will say to me, and the wise man who hears me will say, Job speaks without knowledge. His words are without insight. For he adds rebellion to his sin. He claps his hands among us and multiplies his words against God. Then you ask, what advantage have I? How am I better off than if I had sinned? I will answer you. If you have sinned, what do you accomplish against him? If you are righteous, what do you give him? Or what does he receive from your hand? God is exalted in his power. Who is a teacher like him? Who has prescribed for him his way? Or who can say you have done wrong? The Almighty, you cannot find him. He is great in power and justice and abundant righteousness. He will not violate. Therefore men fear him. He does not regard any who are wise in their own conceit.
Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind.
Who is this that darkens counsel by words without knowledge? Prepare to defend yourself. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me, if you have understanding. Who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Or who stretched the line upon it? On what were its bases sunk? And who laid its cornerstone? when the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy? Have you entered into the springs of the sea, or walked in the recesses of the deep? Have the gates of death been revealed to you? Or have you seen the gates of deep darkness? Have you comprehended the expanse of the earth? Declare if you know all this. Can you lift up your voice to the clouds, that a flood of waters may cover you? Can you send forth bolts of lightning, that they may go and say to you, here we are? Who has put wisdom in the clouds, or given understanding to the mists? Who can number the clouds by wisdom? Or who can tilt the water skins of the heavens, when the dust runs into a mass and the clods cling tightly together? Can you hunt the prey for the lion, or satisfy the appetite of the young lions when they crouch in their dens, or lie in wait in their hiding places? Who provides for the raven its prey when its young ones cry to God and wander about for lack of food? Is it by your wisdom that the hawk soars and spreads his wings towards the south? Is it at your command that the eagle mounts up and makes his nest on high? On the rock he dwells, and makes his home in the vastness of the rocky crag. From there he spies out the prey. His eyes behold it afar off. And where the slain are, there he is. Shall a fault finder contend with the Almighty? He who argues with God, let him answer it.
Then Job answered the Lord,
I am of small account. What shall I answer you? I lay my hand on my mouth. I have spoken once, and I will not answer twice. But I will proceed no further.
Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind,
Gird up your loins like a man, and I will question you, and you declare to me. Will you ever put me in the wrong? Will you condemn me, that you may be satisfied? Have you an arm like God? Can you thunder with a voice like this? Deck yourself with majesty and dignity. Clothe yourself with glory and splendor. Pour forth the overflowings of your anger, and look on every one that is proud and abase him. Look on every one that is proud, and bring him low. Tread down the wicked where they stand. Hide them all in the dust together. Bind their faces in the world below. Then will I also acknowledge to you that your right hand can give you victory.
Then Job answered the Lord,
I know that you can do all things, and that no purpose of yours can be thwarted. Therefore I have uttered what I did not understand, things too wonderful for me, which I did not know. I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you. Therefore I despise myself, and repent in dust and ashes.
After the Lord had spoken these words to Job, the Lord said to Eliphaz the Temanite,
My wrath is kindled against you and against your two friends, for you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has. Now, therefore, take 7 bulls and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job, and offer up for yourselves as burnt offering, and my servant Job shall pray for you. And I will accept his prayer, not to deal with you according to your folly. For you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has.
So Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite went and did what the Lord had told them, and the Lord accepted Job's prayer. And the Lord restored the fortunes of Job when he had prayed for his friends, and the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. Then came to him all his brothers and sisters and all who had known him before, and ate bread with him in his house. And they showed him sympathy and comforted him for all that the Lord had brought upon him. And the Lord blessed the latter days of Job more than his beginning. And he had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 she-donkeys. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. And in all the land there were no women so fair as Job's daughters. And their father gave them inheritance amongst their brothers. And after this, Job lived 140 years, and saw his sons and his sons' sons 4 generations. And Job died, an old man and full of days.